Spider-Man: Homecoming is directed by John Watts. It is produced by Kevin Feige. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, Kevin. And it is, of course, made by Marvel and Disney, and also Sony. Um, this film is really good. I have no problem with this film. It is not going to be a mean review by any means. It's a stressful review because I've been through Spider-Man basically since I'm in my childhood. 2002, the first one came out with Tobey Maguire, and I was hooked. I saw Spider-Man 2 in theaters. Of course, my mom had a cow about that because Dad took me to go see it, and I wasn't allowed to go see PG-13 movies at the time. But anyways, and then Spider-Man 3, of course, which, yeah, it was okay. That's why they rebooted. And then I fell in love with Andrew Garfield all over again. It was like I fell in love with Maguire and all these characters. Then I fell in love with Garfield and Emma Stone. And then after 2 movies, that was done. And then now you got to get used to this new cast of people with Tom Holland, Zendaya. I forget the porky fat kid's name, which the man behind the chair. That's the man in the chair. I mean, that's a good guy. Michael Keaton, of course, Robert Downey Jr., Jon Favreau, who's one of the best directors of our time, and should I tease it? Yeah, whatever. And Gwyneth Paltrow makes an appearance at the end of the movie. Spoiler, sorry. But anyways, this film was really written very good. I like the fact that they decided to go the high school route where Peter is 15 years old. You know, he's not like in the other past Spider-Man movies where he's just graduating high school and he is, becoming his own man, and Uncle Ben's telling him, with great power comes great responsibility. No, in this movie, Uncle Ben's already dead. And another actress who's really good in this is Melissa Tomei. She plays Aunt May, and she is one hot Aunt May. But this movie actually is kind of cool when you talk about the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, connecting it to Spider-Man. I mean, they give a good round and a good starting scene to where they explain Michael Keaton's character and where Michael Keaton comes from and what Michael Keaton is trying to achieve. And it's really cool that you get to see the more character history about the bad guy, and also history about, the main character, but more about the bad guy. You never really got that back in the past. You never got, especially in Iron Man 1, when you knew about Obadiah, and Obadiah never really got explained about in the whole movie. I mean, yeah, they explained he used to work with his Tony's father and blah, 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 but you never really saw the roots of the character. With Michael Keaton, you really do, and I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, Ultron, no, the Tatari army and the Avengers, those movies are good. I'm not going to give them any sympathy for them, but they don't give anything about the bad guy, which I actually kind of liked from this film, that they gave more contrast about Michael Keaton, and it really made the film better. I mean, it explained more about, Peter just being a kid and just trying to make life decisions of, should I go have fun with my friends and go to this party and impress this girl, or there's something else going on in New York and I need to save the world or something, and Peter, and that's really what ticked me off through the whole entire film, was Peter always made that right choice of saying, I'm Spider-Man and I gotta help these people. I cannot spend time trying to impress his love interest in the film, which that's the only thing I have a problem with, is the love interest. Peter keeps going and going and helping and saving people. He doesn't have time to create any interest with this girl until one scene where, he says, I like you, and then she says, I like you too. And then they both go to the prom together, which just got better. But I won't spoil the whole movie for you guys because I know it just came out July 7th and it's, I believe, the 15th. So it's been a week and a day. So I don't really want to really spoil it for you guys. It's a really good movie. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably one of the best superhero movies out there. It's not as good as Superman the movie, of course, and it's not as good as Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman exceeds it just a little bit more. I will say the story is complete greatness. I do not like at the end though, and I'm gonna think that for most Spider-Man fans out there, if you have seen this movie, um, I'm not a big fan of it. That Zendaya, who is this uh, weird chick in the film, she's very awkward. She's more like an Ali Sheedy from The Breakfast Club. Um, she's, I guess, Mary Jane. She says, but my friends call me MJ. And I was like, okay, I can deal with it, but I wasn't really expecting that at all. But it's whatever with that. I know that they're trying to start, a lot more villains in this film because I've seen, I guess there's going to be a Scorpion. There's Shocker in the film, which Shocker only has one claw, but if you read the comics, and of course I got, the original Spider-Man 2, not Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1 on PlayStation, and you face Shocker in that film, and Shocker's got the two hands that go like, with the power, and it's kind of cool. And then also Vulture's in this as well, and then Green Goblin and Scorpion. So you face a lot of villains in this game, and the game gets kind of hard at the end. I'm stuck on a level right now where I'm trying to get through Oscorp security, and Oscorp's being a dick right now. So, but anyways. I see that they're trying to make a Venom film for this, and they're trying to make Spider-Man's universe grow throughout Sony and also throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I guess Sony made a deal with Marvel, which I thought, was kind of stupid because even though Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't really pan out with critics and only received like a 55% or 56%, it was a decent movie. I like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I grew into him being Spider-Man. Yeah, you grew up into Maguire, but Maguire was getting really old for the films, and Garfield was a lot younger, and Garfield made more humor, and also you could see more of uh, how he felt on screen. When Gwen died in 2, he was all over the place, unlike Maguire when Harry dies in Spider-Man 3, he's like Harry trying to work himself up, and and he did the same thing in Spider-Man 1. He also did the same thing in 2, and it gets old. And you know what? I give no disrespect to Sam Raimi. He is probably one of the best directors when it comes to the original Spider-Man trilogy. It's just that the reason why 3 wasn't good was because the studio demanded that these things be in these movies, and it ticks me off a little bit that the studio interference, kind of like Batman v Superman, like I talked about in my Wonder Woman review, it you can't have studio interference, and that's why Sam Raimi said I could never get a script around because they wanted this person in the film, this person in the film, this person in the film. You can't do that, and that's what the studios need to keep their business out if you want to create a good movie, and that's what Disney is doing. Disney got this guy and John Watts, and he hasn't done much either. He's like a Patty Jenkins in Wonder Woman, an unknown director, really. In my opinion, I've not seen anything else that Watts has done, but it seems like he's a very good director when it comes to creating that high school environment. And that's what I like about this film as well, is it made John Hughes, which he's probably one of my all-time favorites when it comes to The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller and Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful. Those are great films when it comes about teen life. And they really hit the nail when it came to we want Peter's high school life to be real. And they did. They didn't have the bully, but they had a guy that really made fun of him a lot, and that was Flash Thompson, of course, again. And making dick jokes at Peter's name, and it really, that really was like, wow, you put that in a PG-13 movie where kids are probably gonna go see Spider-Man. Okay, Marvel, yeah. But the thing is, it's great acting by Holland. Holland really surprised me when it came to Civil War, and I saw him in the film, and I thought, oh, this is cool. We got a very young Spider-Man. We've never seen this on screen before, and also we've got a very hot Aunt May, maybe it would be decent. And I saw him in action in Civil War, and I thought, okay, his solo movie could be cool, and it was cool. By any means, it wasn't bad by any means. It was more of uh, the fact that I had to see Spider-Man get rebooted for a second time, and it just is like, it's kind of like when you watch all the Batman films, and you got Keaton, then you got Val Kilmer, then you got George Clooney, then you got Christian Bale, now you got Ben Affleck. It's like Superman, where you got Reeve and Roth, and now you got Henry Cavill, and it's just like superhero movies are just getting old, and Spider-Man: Homecoming is probably one of the best movies in the summer. Michael Keaton as the villain I thought was really cool because he wasn't all that bad. He was doing it for a purpose. He was doing it for his family. And I won't tell you any more about that, but Michael Keaton is a pretty cool villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I could never really see him outside being a supervillain, because I've always seen him as Batman and Beetlejuice, of course. So it was really cool to see the character turn evil in a way that you could still feel bad for the character, even though he was evil. And again, Robert Downey being in this movie, I thought, they said Robert Downey Jr. is in this movie. He was always in the trailers, and you saw a lot of action with him in the film, but he wasn't really used that much. He was basically far away from the film. He messaged Peter a couple times, but it was really Happy Hogan, which was played by Jon Favreau, who really came back into the role. He hasn't been in the role really since 2010, where he really made a debut, and he also directed that film in Iron Man 2. But it was cool to see him back and always make some jokes and everything. But the opening was cool when Peter was taking a video of all the events that happened before and after Civil War, and even during Civil War. I thought that was kind of cool. The writing is sensational. That is a writing that a superhero film should be. It shouldn't be about just action and we need to have all these people in this film because the studio wants it and fans want it. No, make your own film. And it was kind of cool to see Vulture on film for the first time. I was always so used to the old man in the Spider-Man game, of course, and it said the Vulture was going to be in this film, and I was excited because you saw the Green Goblin, you saw Dr. Octopus, you saw New Goblin, Venom, and Sandman, and all in one movie, which was like, and then you saw the Lizard, which we were like, okay, and then you saw Electro, another new Green Goblin, and then the Rhino, played by Paul Giamatti for 5 minutes of the film. It's okay, It's cool to see one villain at a time, kind of like what Sam Raimi did with the Green Goblin in 1, Octopus in 2, and then 3 with the studio interference, and then that's what it all went downhill after that. But it was cool to see Vulture. It was cool to see his friends and how they were working and tinkering on this new alien technology they got from the wreck in New York from the Avengers movie. Spoiler, if you haven't seen the movie, please go see it. It's a wonderful film. You'll love it. It will always... it's not going to have a special place in your heart, but it will be a good movie. It's probably one of the best movies I've seen all summer. And I put it on Facebook, and I'm going to say it again. It's an 8.5 out of 10. It lacks the love interest. And then, of course, the special effects are cool. I didn't like how... Peter got a suit from Tony Stark. I didn't really like that. I kind of thought, in the originals and even in the new ones, Peter always made his suits. It wasn't from Tony Stark, or it wasn't from this high billionaire that says, oh yeah, I'll get you a suit. No, it was kind of stupid to be like, oh, this is like an Iron Man Spider-Man suit, and it's programmed by Tony Stark, and he's got the own Friday, who is basically Jarvis, but in a girl form. It was just, the suit was okay. I wasn't really that impressed with the suit. I liked that the suit, talked to him. I thought that was kind of hilarious, but it was okay. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Perfect casting choice with Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I have no problems with him. The thing is, I'm just getting tired of seeing, okay, Maguire, okay, Garfield, now I have to see Holland. Like, new generations of people have to get used to a new Spider-Man, and it's only been since 2002, which was about, I'm going to say 15 years, yeah, 15 years ago. You know, it's funny how it's evolved so much since then. It kind of is depressing because I grew up watching Maguire. Then in my early teen days, I grew up watching Garfield. Now that I'm going to college, I gotta get used to Holland. You know, it's amazing how it changes just like that because of either money, studio interference, or they want this character in the cinematic universe. So let's do it and just kill off Garfield. Still ticks me off to this day, but I gotta live with it. So 8.5 out of 10. I have no problems with the film except for the love interest and a little bit more on the suit. That's it. Everything else, great, top-notch performances. The high school was great. The high school story was great. With the whole John Hughes feel to it, it was really cool to really rediscover that. So again, please subscribe to my videos. I give this basically a B. It was 8.5 out of 10, so yeah, I got no problems with it. So subscribe, keep viewing my videos. I'm not asking for likes, really. I'm more into hearing anybody's feedback when they look at these reviews. I'm just trying to get myself out there when it comes to being a review junkie. I like film. I guess likes me. I think I'm going to go see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes real soon. Not Dawn, War of the Planet of the Apes real soon. Because I want to see Matt Reeves see his direction with this one before he directs the new Batman. I saw Cars 3, which I'll probably do a review for, even though it was more like Rocky 3, but in Cars form. And then I probably will do a Transformers 5 review, even though rumor has it Mark Wahlberg is not coming back for 6. So please stay tuned. Those probably will be coming here real soon. But thank you, and please subscribe.